Hello students, this is Miss Dalton and this video is on reading graphs and tables. Our learning target for this section is that you will be able to interpret graphs and tables and use the data to answer questions after you have mastered this concept. In this first example, we have a pie chart, and the pie chart says that this is the students at Truman High School who reported that they rode a bicycle. So we're going to answer this question. It says all students at Truman High School completed a questionnaire about bicycle riding. Some of the results are shown in figure 14.1. Does each statement accurately describe the data in the circle graph pie chart in figure 14.1 and explain your reasoning? So the first statement says 40% of the reported bicycle riders at Truman High were freshmen. And so since this does represent the number of students that rode a bicycle, and it says that freshmen are 40%, then this would be a true statement. The next question says, or statement says, that 25% of the sophomores at Truman High School reported riding bicycles. So again, we can see sophomores are right here, and it is 25%, and I always just check the wording because sometimes the wording will trip you up a little bit, but these are the number of students that are riding bicycles, so this is true as well. The next statement says the percent of students at Truman High School who reported riding a bicycle and who were juniors is 20%. So here we go, we've got juniors being at 20%. So this is a true statement as well. And then last statement, freshmen at Truman High School were twice as likely as juniors to report riding bicycles. So when we're comparing the juniors and the freshmen, it does appear that if I double the amount of juniors, it will equal that 40%. So this is true as well. All right, so this next question says, what percent of students who ride bicycles are juniors or seniors? And so some people get tripped up and they see the word or, and so they do something funky with those percentages. But all you're going to do is you're just going to take the number of juniors and the number of seniors, and you're just going to add those percentages. So juniors was 20%, seniors 15%. So that would represent a total of 35%. Which two groups make up 60% of all bicycle riders? So you're just going to look for the one that adds up to 60. And so it would be freshmen and juniors. And that would be the answer to the statement. Okay, this next type of table is called a stacked bar chart. And so when you're reading it, you want to make sure that you are looking at the different pieces of information. So you can see here that the girls are in orange, the boys are in green, and then the axes on the y-axis, make sure you notice that. These numbers are the numbers of students. They're not percentages, they are the actual numbers. So let's look at the questions that they're asking us. It says all of the 8th graders at Madison Middle School were asked whether they most enjoyed basketball, badminton, or volleyball. Their responses are shown in figure 14.2. Roughly how many 8th grade girls chose basketball as their favorite sport? So if we go here to basketball and we look at the girls, it's going to be this section right here, and this top value right there seems to be about 15. So we're going to say that this is approximately 15 girls. And remember, all of these numbers represent 8th grade students, so we don't have to figure out, the different grade levels. The next question says approximately how many 8th grade boys chose badminton. So if we go over here to badminton, and if we're just looking at the boys is this green section. So we're going to have to do some subtracting to figure out what this number is. It looks like, let me go ahead and move this over a little bit. It looks like this bottom value is at approximately 12, we'll say. And it looks like the top is at about 35. So if I subtract those numbers, 35 minus 12, that's going to tell me how many are in that green section. So that would represent 23 boys. Okay, on this next one, it says about what percent of 8th grade girls chose volleyball as their favorite sport. Okay, so hopefully you recognized the difference in the wording. If I compare it to the previous problem, it says approximately how many 8th grade boys. And in this problem, we're talking about percent. So we're going to have to figure out what the percent is of the girls that chose volleyball. So remember the first word, that's what's going to be your denominator. Okay, so the total number of girls, we're going to have to figure out what that is. So let me go ahead and move this over a little bit so I can see it better. Total number of girls. So let's say this one for badminton, that's at about 12. Basketball, we said that was about 15. And volleyball looks like there's about 10. So the total number of girls is 12 plus 15 plus 10. So that comes out to be 37 total. Now, out of that total, we want to know what percent chose volleyball. Well, the volleyball was 10. So 10 out of that total 37 girls chose volleyball. So now we need to go ahead and figure out what the percentage is of that. So use your calculator. And that comes out to be 0.27 approximately, which if we convert that to a percent, that's going to be approximately 27%. So be careful when you're reading the language in the problem. You want to make sure that you're figuring out the correct amount. All right, this next question, it says, what is the ratio of the total students who like basketball to the total students who like volleyball? So basketball total is approximately 38, and the volleyball total is 30. So if we set up the ratio with the 2 being our colon, then we have 38 colon 30. And you do want to go ahead and simplify that. So they can both be divided by 2. And that would be 19 to 15. And I believe that's as far as you can go. So make sure that when you write your ratio, you either need to write it with the colon, or you can write it as a fraction, but I would prefer that you write it with the colon. Okay, the next question says, what is the ratio of boys who like volleyball to girls who like volleyball? So we're just looking at the volleyball bar, and the boys, looks like there's 20 boys to 10 girls. So we're going to write it as a ratio, 20 to 10, and we need to simplify that, so that would be a 2-to-1 ratio. Okay, the next question, what is the percent difference between total students who like badminton and total students who like volleyball? Okay, so when they're talking about the difference in percent, you first have to figure out what is the difference in the numbers. Well, badminton, we have 35 total students. And volleyball, we have 30. So that means we have to figure out what did it decrease by. It decreased by 5. And so then we have to figure out what percent 5 is of that initial amount, 35. So we need to take 5 and divide it by 35. When you do that on your calculator, you get 0.14 approximately. And so that would be about a 14% difference. All right, here's another similar question. It says, what is the percent difference between total students who like basketball and total students who like volleyball? So basketball is about 38 students. Volleyball, again, is 30. The difference is only 8 students. And so we're going to take 8 of 38 to figure out what the percent difference is. So 8 divided by 38 comes out to be approximately 0.21. So that would be approximately 21%. All right, here are the questions that you're going to work on. And I have a Moodle assignment set up for this so that you can complete this in Moodle.